have another very rare vacuum to show you. One that I sadly do not own, although knowing how rare and delicate they are, I'm actually a little bit glad that I don't. Again, thank you very much to its owner for showing me. We have a very rarely used Hoover 507, or the Conquest, as it is otherwise known. Let's have a look. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? We have something that is made in Great Britain by Hoover Limited. I'm just seeing if there's a shipping label on the box, but there is not, so maybe this was picked up in the store. That is just the BEAB sticker. Now apparently the owner got this for an absolute steal. I can't help but be slightly jealous, as you do, but what do we have? Well, we have a couple actually of genuine disposal bags, so old that they do not have a H number as they normally do. They do fit several machines. They fit the 417G, I have a 417, they fit the 419 and the 507, which is what this is. So they are very rare indeed, utterly terrible because they are just single layer paper bags, and I presume they go inside this tartan bag, which has, I think that's the receipt for some bags from 1971 from Civic in Putney. So we'll pop those back in there and stick them back in the paper bag. We have the original instruction manual. Look at that, use some care of your new Hoover Deluxe cylinder. Very nice indeed. We don't need to read it because it's a very simple machine. We have this Hoover bag, which I think is to hold the tools, although you'd have to be utterly suicidal to put the tools in it now. Inside we have a little tag for the symbol of quality, which I presume would have been if they wanted to unbox this in a showroom, which they would have had back then. They could have done. And a very faded electricity supply, how to fit a plug, because again this would not have had a fitted plug from the factory. What's in here? Well, we have the hose, nice Hoover Flex hose with a metal end and a 4-position suction control, which is basically just a bog standard slider but with notches to choose the level of suction. We have a little turbo tool with very weird little brushes. Look, they're like the little toy vacuums you get. So they're nice. Have a very nice dusting brush, which is starting to fade a bit, but that is ever so common nowadays. My one is fading on my Freedom in exactly the same way. Have an upholstery tool with the rubber teeth at the back. And almost unused. If it wasn't for the fact that you could see where it's been fitted, you would not tell. Let's move a light, see if I can do the shine test. Look, you could not tell that that has ever been used, which is good because these are normally, again, the tool that gets the most use. Have a telescopic extension wand. We have the floor brush, which has a very different Hoover badge on it. Whether this was imported from America, I do not know. The state of the bristles is frankly quite shocking, but it's not my machine, so I'm not to blame. Flip over floor tool. have a little radiator brush. I've never seen a radiator brush on a Hoover machine before, so you can get down into all your radiators. And the machine itself. Now, you would have to be utterly stupid to ever pick one of these up by its top handle. The only ones I have ever seen have big metal fixes to this bit. This is fantastic. The owner has been picking it up all day like this, and I'm not about to pick it up any other way. So let's just double check there's nothing else in the box. We have the protective wax paper that it would have been shipped in, and that is it. So let's get a bit closer to the machine itself. Here we go. It is utterly stunning. I think it is used, but so little. We have a leatherette covering on the body. We tip it up. We have the ratings plate, which is dateable, but too faded too sadly. But I think these are the 1960s, possibly early 70s. We have some little skids, which have some wheels on them. And this front wheel here, which barely touches the floor. It literally just holds the front of the skids off. Now obviously all the older Hoovers had skids. If you look at Doreen from Hoover Lux has a really old one which had skids, and that's pretty much how they used to be. So this does glide backwards and forwards. There is also what I presume is a hook for hanging it up with, but I'm not about to try that now here in front of you. It has automatic cord rewind. Oh, the plug needs a little bit of attention, but it hasn't blown up on us yet. And that, again, ever so strong for the age of this. Nothing wrong with that at all. There is a blower port, so with this down all the air is diverted out. You can fit the hose into it and use it as a blower. Very gingerly put that back up. Under here is the Premotor Filter, like so. There's a little bit of dust on it, but nothing to worry about at all really. Just going to put that back on now, work out how it went. There we go. There's a little grill just sits there, and this here is the bag full indicator. But you may as well leave it upright like this because I can show you the bag. It has a HEPA flow bag conversion. So this is the cloth bag. The paper disposal bag would fit exactly like this onto it, but as all good vacuum cleaner collectors, he has a HEPA flow bag in it now. This is the Premotor Filter, which I just need to unhook from where it is, which is basically just a lump of Hessian sacking, really. And then inside there is the motor. Its design is identical to pretty much every Hoover cylinder forever, really, from the really early ones all the way up until the compact came on the scene, really, and in the late 80s, well, in the mid to late 80s. So I'll pop that back on there, like so, and we'll go and find some power and turn it on. So we have this Hoover Conquest plugged in. It's got that beautiful vintage smell about it. Oh, you can't replace that smell. And yeah, basically it's a fairly standard affair after this. You've got your pit fit tools. And you fit your floor tool. And away you go! That's not easily going to come off. Let's use hours with a little knife plucking all it out. But the floor tool, but it's very well on hard floor. Pretty terrible on carpet, as all of these are, because it just glides over the top. But let's have a quick look at this little turbo tool. If I come over to here, onto the sofa, you can see it actually works rather well. First of all, it's very loud. And it really is a fab little thing, because if I just turn my little light on, inside of here is where the magic happens, and that is a metal blade that spins around and turns the little brushes. It's bogging down a bit on the sofa, probably because when this was new, the nice flammable sofas that your gran used to have, which just would have just glided straight over, it would have been sucked up into there. But it did a very good job, and it's just a very lovely cleaner. The last thing that I want to show you is the family resemblance, because, and I mentioned this earlier to my friend who brought it over, it looks ever so similar to my Hoover Freedom. You really can see they got their money's worth out of design. My 417, which is up in the loft, looks pretty much identical to this, just in metal. So you've got the bag in at the front, and the bag is exactly the same on this, it's just disposable. And obviously this is more basic, but you can see the resemblance. Let's get rid of the Freedom, because we're not looking at that boring old thing. Just go and rewind the cable back in. See how it copes with me leaving the plug over there. Almost perfect. Like I say, you must never come inside and try and make that work any sharper. That would just be utterly silly. So we can stick it back in its box. Let's just open out the wax paper and place it very carefully back in its little house. There we go. I'm going to put the wax paper back over the top of it, so it can be all nicely protected. Turbo tool down there, down the side. I don't quite know how it all goes together. I don't think it matters 100%, but I would imagine that the upholstery tool goes there. We'll put the radiator brush down there, dusting brush there, the crevice tool probably goes in there. Extension's got to fit down there because that's the only place it goes. The hose, very possibly just sits around there like that, and all the paperwork will just lay on top, ready for it to come out and have a play another day. There we go. So, thank you very much for watching this video of a very rare vacuum cleaner. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.